Hello everyone, welcome to L3S. In this session, we'll discuss about first in world, and all these MCQ questions are very important for all type of competitive exam and quiz program. Let's get started. Question 1. Who was the first man to walk on the moon? And the right option here is C. Neil Armstrong. The first man to walk on the moon was Neil Armstrong. He stepped onto the lunar surface on July 20, 1969 as part of the Apollo 11 mission. Buzz Aldrin was the second person to set foot on the moon on July 21, 1969. Who were the first to reach Mount Everest? And here correct option is B. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. Edmund Hillary and Tibetan mountaineer Tenzing Norgay were the first people to reach summit of Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, and they reached on May 29, 1953. Which of the first country to adopt a written constitution? And the correct option here is B. USA. The first country to adopt a written constitution was the United States, and it was ratified in 1788. Who was the first person to discover America? The right option here is D. Christopher Columbus. Italian explorer Christopher Columbus is credited with discovering the Americas in 1492. It is crucial to acknowledge that indigenous peoples had inhabited the America for tens of thousands of years before his arrival. Around 1000 CE, Norse explorer Leif Erikson is believed to have landed in present-day Newfoundland, established for a short-lived settlement. Who was the first person to land on the North Pole? It is D. Robert Peary. In 1909, two American explorers had just claimed to have been the first to reach the North Pole, one as Frederick Albert Cook, the other Robert Peary. Having illustrious sponsors, namely the National Geographic Society and New York Times, meant Peary's claim was lent much heavier credence. Who was the first person to reach South Pole? And the right option here is B. Roald Amundsen. The first person to reach South Pole was Roald Amundsen, a Norwegian explorer. He achieved this feat on December 14, 1911, leading a team of 4 other Norwegians. Which was the first country to launch a satellite into space? And it is A. Russia, USSR. The first country to launch a satellite into space was Russia, the Soviet Union. They successfully launched Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957. What is the name of the first artificial satellite? And it is C. Sputnik 1. We have discussed in the previous question about it. The first artificial satellite to orbit Earth was Sputnik 1, launched by Soviet Union on October 4, 1957. Who was the first president of USA? And correct option here is B. George Washington. George Washington was a founding father and the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. As commander of Continental Army, Washington led Patriot force to victory in the American Revolutionary War against British Empire. He is commonly known as the father of the nation for his role in bringing about American independence. Who was the first European to invade India? And it is D. Alexander the Great. Who was the first man in space? And the right option here is A. Yuri Gagarin. The first man in space was Yuri Gagarin, a Soviet cosmonaut. He achieved this milestone on April 12, 1961 when he completed one orbit of Earth in Vostok 1 spacecraft. Who invented the telephone? And the right option here is C. Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell is credited with being inventor of telephone since his patent and demonstration for an apparatus designed for transmitting vocal or other sounds telegraphically, causing electrical undulation were successful. Who made the first powered flight in an airplane? It is B. Wright brothers. On December 17, 1903, the Wright brothers made history in their Kitty Hawk flyer with the first powered flight. Wilbur and Orville had just become the first true airplane pilots. First computer in the world was named D. ENIAC. The first computer in the world was named ENIAC, which stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It was the first programmable electronic general-purpose digital computer. ENIAC was developed by a team at the University of Pennsylvania's Moore School of Electrical Engineering, led by J. Prosper Eckert Jr. and John Moseley under U.S. Army contract during World War II. Who was the first black president of South Africa? B. Nelson Mandela. The first black president of South Africa was Nelson Mandela. He served as president from 1994 to 1999, and his presidency was marked by effort to dismantle the legacy of apartheid and foster racial reconciliation. Also, he was the first black head of state in South Africa and was elected in a fully representative democratic election. Which is the world's first university? It is Al Qurawin. The University of Al Qurawin, located in Fez, Morocco, is widely recognized as the world's first and oldest continually operating educational institute. It was founded in 859 AD by Fatima al-Fihri, according to Yocket Study Abroad and Manchester University Press. The university also recognized by UNESCO and Guinness World Record as the oldest existing and continuously operating degree-granting university. Which is the first 24-hour satellite TV news channel in the world? And the right option is C. CNN. First web browser created was named B. World Wide Web. Who was the first person to discover penicillin? Option D. Alexander Fleming. The first person to discover penicillin was Alexander Fleming in 1928. While working at St. Mary's Hospital in London, he noticed a mold, Penicillium Notre Dame, contaminating a petri dish of this bacteria and observed that the mold inhibited bacterial growth. What is the first newspaper in the world? And right option is Acta Diurna. The first newspaper was the Acta Diurna, created by Romans in 59 BC. It was a handwritten gazette that shared information about events, gossip, and announcements similar to modern newspapers. What's the first religion in the world? It is B. Hinduism. Hinduism has been called the oldest religion in the world. It has also been described by the modern term Sanatan Dharma. Which country was the first country to print book? And right option here is A. China. Who was the first recipient of Nobel Peace Prize? C. Jean Henry Dunant. Who was the first woman to climb Mount Everest? Right option is Junko Tabe. Junko Tabe was a Japanese mountaineer, author, and teacher. She was the first woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest and ascend the 7 summits, climbing the highest peak on every continent. Who was the first woman to go to space? It is Valentina Tereshkova. First woman to travel to space was Valentina Tereshkova, a Soviet cosmonaut. She flew on Vostok 6 in 1963, orbiting Earth 48 times. What's the first living organism sent to space? Correct option here is B. Dog. The first living organism sent into space was Laika, a Soviet space dog who was launched aboard Sputnik 2 in 1957. While other animals had been sent on suborbital flights previously, Laika was the first to orbit the Earth. She was a stray dog found in Moscow and was chosen for her gentle temperament. Although she did not survive the mission, her flight provided valuable data about the effect of space travel on living organisms. Was the first movie with sound talkie? And it is The Jazz Singer. The first feature-length movie with synchronized sound for dialogue was Jazz Singer, released in 1927. While earlier films experimented with sound included Diction experimental sound film, The Jazz Singer was the first to have significant portion of spoken dialogue integrated with their visuals. What was the first Asian to win Nobel Prize? It is D. Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was the first Asian to receive a Nobel Prize. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. He was born in Calcutta, India. What was the first country to open a stock exchange? It is A. Netherlands. Founded in 1602 by the Dutch East India Company, the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, currently called Euronext Amsterdam in Netherlands, is the world's oldest and first stock exchange. It was the first exchange of its kind to trade in securities instead of commodities. Which was the first country to win the Football World Cup? And the right option here is C. Uruguay. The first FIFA World Cup football tournament was held in 1930 and it was won by Uruguay. That tournament was held in Montevideo, Uruguay, and 13 teams participated in the event, and Uruguay won the final by defeating Argentina 4-2 in front of a crowd of over 93,000 spectators. Thank you. This brings to an end of this session. Today we explored various questions related to first in world, which plays an essential role in competitive exam. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more from L3S. Thank you.